Hey guys, Steven here. Welcome to the outdoor workshop. Thought I'd go ahead and take the time. I've got to finish up on some quarter round in my house. I had replaced all the trim and baseboards, and installed some shiplap and new flooring. But I still needed to finish up on some quarter round. It's been sitting for a while, so I thought I have some time off here over the holidays. I'll go ahead and get that done. But while I was here and had this saw set up, I thought I'd go ahead and review this, and I've had it for a couple of years now. This is the Bosch, and it is the Bosch GCM12SD, I guess, hinge slide miter saw they call it. What I really like about this saw is the hinges. These hinges are great. I've had this thing for a couple of years. Let me unlock it here. It's locked into the stationary position. Just to unlock, it's just a little switch, or I guess flip that up. And this thing here just glides like butter. I mean, this thing, I just love that. I've had it for 2 years, haven't had to lubricate it, anything like that. There's actually a Torx machine screw right there that you can tighten that down, so there's a little friction. I actually have a little friction on that so that it's not too, otherwise this thing just, I mean, there's nothing. I mean, it's great. I love that. One great thing about this is if you're in a confined space, or you have a wall behind you, you don't have the bars sticking out the backside like most of the traditional miter saws. The other thing I've noticed with the other sliding miter saws is from time to time, those things, if they get too much buildup of sawdust or anything, they kind of get sticky. You have to lubricate them. 2 years of owning this, I haven't lubricated it, not once. I mean, it still glides like butter. That part I really like. I just think the hinges on this thing are slick. It's a neat innovation, but it's also the thing that makes this saw so heavy. So on the one hand, I really like it. I think it's a neat feature the way it works. On the other hand, it makes the saw very heavy. Okay, the other thing I like about the saw is with this knob right here, you can adjust the depth of the cut of the blade. So you click this in place, and then that little screw there stops the depth. You can see right there, I'm not even getting down to the quarter round. So you can make notches. And for me, that comes in handy. Sometimes for like railings and things, I have to notch them, they cross each other. That's a neat feature. I know it's not unique to this saw, but it is the thing I like about the saw. The other thing I like about this saw is to activate the bevel on this saw. You're not messing around in the back of the saw, loosening things so that you can bevel it. That's all controlled right here. You basically have a bevel lock, I guess you call it here. You just click it over to one side, and then allows you to bevel it to the left, click it to the other side, bevel to the right. And then it's got and that basically, this lever locks it in place, whichever way you're going with it. I really don't bevel the saw ever. I just find that's kind of annoying to do in general, not just for this miter saw, but for any miter saw. I feel like I always have to come back and calibrate the saw to make sure it's cutting square. And I just prefer not to do that. I really don't use it that way. So I like that. I like that the crown stop, you have to buy the crown stop separate, but the crown stop can store right. Mounts the same way, but you can't flip it around like this. Here you can just flip that around, turn it back around, set the depth you need, and you're good to go. When you're done cutting crown or whatever, you can just flip this thing back around, loosen that knob, flip it back around. Gotta loosen it up enough here so that it gets past that. There we go. And then tighten that back up. I'm doing this with one hand. And there you go. It's out of the way. It stores right on the miter saw. You don't have to worry about losing that. So I like that feature. I like on the miter gauge itself. So if if I want to change the angle on this thing, you know, of course it's got the indents like all miter saws do, and they click into place at the specific angles. The nice thing with this, I don't have to like unlock anything if I want to do an off angle that's in between an indent, say 21 degrees right there. I don't have to adjust anything or unlock anything. I just turn the knob and tighten her down. It's not going to click into the indent. You know, some of the other saws, let's say if I was to get right here, I'm going to go back to a 90 or 0 degree angle, which it's odd that they call it 0. It's really a 90 degree cut, but say I want a 1 degree. Some of the other saws, or even a half a degree, let's say I go out to a half a degree. Some of the other saws, if you don't, you got some other mechanisms you got to do if you don't want that thing to just click into the indent. This saw really doesn't. I mean, you turn this knob, you lock it down, it doesn't click into the indent and get you off that half degree. That way, I really like the saw. It works out nice. The other thing I like is it has these wings on it. So if I'm cutting small cabinet trim and things like that, sometimes my miter, even if I bring these all the way in, my miter saw wings here, stand wings, it's still short over here. So I like having that support where I can actually just pull this out. It actually expands out, locks into place, and I have that that can be adjusted. I also like the clamp. It comes with the clamp, so I can clamp things down when I'm cutting it, tighten it down. That application really, what I use that for when I do use it is for repetitive cuts. So if I want to put a stop on here and I have short cuts, or I want to cut, you know, short pieces, I can put a stop on here with this clamp, and then just, you know, I don't have to measure. Now my miter saw stand allows me to do that with a little bit longer pieces, but those short pieces, that works out nice. I really like having it for that function. Let's see. Okay, so those are some of the things that I like about this saw. I like the way this switch works. I like the handle. I like the changing the blade is not really that difficult on this saw to do. Those things I like. What I don't like about this saw is the weight. This saw is just, man, it's one of the heaviest portable miter saws, or, you know, out there. I mean, this thing weighs a ton, and that's partially why I originally bought this miter saw stand, because it had wheels and I could roll it and not, you know, lug this thing around on a job site. But that is really the worst part about this saw, the thing I like the least. I guess the second thing I like the least about this saw is the dust collection on it is just, Bosch really, you know, I really like the saw. I use it all the time. I use it every day. I have a DeWalt, but I really prefer this one. But the dust collection on it is just terrible. I mean, it really, I mean, even the DeWalt dust collection is not the greatest, but the DeWalt is better than this as far as dust collection. This little, the shroud they have here, it doesn't, it needs to be bigger maybe. I'm not really sure. It just doesn't really work that good when I hook my vacuum cleaner up to it. And if I just have a bag on it like this, the bag itself, it's like a cheese paper. So like it catches the big stuff, but the small particle dust, which are really just, you know, kind of the thing you really want to catch, I guess, more than anything, just goes through that bag. So not really, the dust collection is just really lacking in that area. So I guess bottom line, would I recommend this saw? I guess I would recommend it mostly if a person has a wood shop and they're gonna kind of permanently set this saw up. It's a great option. I think something could be done maybe with that shroud, maybe a bigger one be made for that, and I think that might solve it as far as the dust collection goes. But yeah, again, if they have a workshop and they're gonna set this thing up more on a permanent basis, aren't gonna be moving it around, you know, you've got a bench tight to a wall or something like that, it's a great option for that. It really is. Maybe in a trailer where it's tight to a wall, if you actually work out of a trailer and you cut in your trailer, which I know people do that. It's not, I can't imagine, it's not something I can see myself ever doing, but I think it'd be a great option for that. And for both those reasons, because it doesn't have the bar sticking out the back, you can get tight to the wall, like I said before. For a job site miter saw, not sure I'd recommend this. It's just so heavy. I like it, I use it. Again, I bought the rolling stand just to kind of make it functional for me, but I think my next saw is going to be cordless. I'm not sure what I'm going to go with. I like having a 12-inch saw. I know some of the cordless saws actually have smaller blades, so I've been a little bit hesitant to pick one of those up. I know that DeWalt, they have a 12-inch flex volt, I think. That may be what I go with when I do finally replace this. But yeah, so I guess that's it. The good, the bad, the ugly. You know, it cuts nice, works good. I use it daily. Would I buy it again today in this market? I think I would probably choose something else. Okay, so that's my review on the, I'm an amateur at doing tool reviews, by the way. I don't think I've ever even done one before. This will be the first one. You know, I'm sure, like I said, could probably get into all the technical details and compare it to other saws and all that. I'm just comparing my experience using this saw. Like I said, I do like it. I love the gliding action on it. I'm going to keep it a while longer. I think my next saw will be probably the DeWalt battery operated saw. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy this video or got something out of it, please like and subscribe. And from the Outside Wood Shop, we'll see you next time.